get to learn, unlearn, and relearn. You get to learn something new every day on radio. This is where we don't just ask questions. We learn, we prepare for what's going on around us, get to know things we think we know, but we don't actually know. My name is Finfolua Akiremi, and today we're going to be learning something that can save you stress, embarrassment, and even money. Last week, we learned about certain terminologies that we should know as Nigerian citizens, like the meaning of EFCC, INEC, PVC. Some people don't know the meaning of PVC. We learned what is the meaning of VAT. What is NCC? What does SIM represent? You know the SIM we put in your phone. It's an acronym for something, and we learned it last week. We learned the meaning of OTP as well. That was what we did last week on Radio School. Today, we're learning something else, something different. We're going to be talking about, certain terms that we use at the airport. For people that have not traveled before, you've never been to the airport, you've never traveled anywhere, at least we know that one day, we will go somewhere. We'll travel the world. But before we do that, there are certain things that we should know, that we must know to prepare ourselves for the beautiful moments that we desire. Every one of us desires it at one point or the other, even if you're not traveling to relocate, traveling for vacations or something, you would have one thing or the other to do at the airport at one point in your life. And these are some of the things that you should know before traveling by air. That's what we're going to be talking about today on Radio School. For a lot of people, they travel, they get to the airport and they are panicking. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to check. They don't know what to prepare for. They even miss their flights because they don't know the time to get to the airport, how many hours to get to the airport before you travel. Some don't even understand what's going on. They don't even know where to turn to, where to move to. It's just confusing. It's not like the regular buses that we just go to the park. If you're not in well, Oshodi, you just enter, you just go. But this one, it's a bit more complicated, especially if it's your first time, especially if you've never done it before. You don't know what it is like. It's sometimes very complicated. So that's what we're going to be learning today. So you can move like a pro whenever you get a chance to travel. Class is in session. Let's learn. The first thing I need you to know and bear in mind when traveling is you should have a passport. What is a passport? Passport, this particular passport I'm talking about is not the one you go to, that uncle that used to take your picture behind white background or red background. That's not the passport that I'm talking about today. Every travel starts with your passport, and your passport, this is when your number one document. This is one thing you must have before you decide that I want to travel out of the country to anywhere. You must have a passport, and it must be valid. It must be at least 6 months before it expires, especially if you're traveling to certain countries. They require that you have your passport ready. You can get your passport at the immigration office. It's not complicated at all, to be honest. I recently renewed my passport and it was such a seamless experience. Very simple, very seamless, very easy peasy something. It's not difficult at all. So if you want to get your passport, if you're traveling, you can always go to any nearby immigration office near you. They'll tell you what you need to do to apply. Of course, it's not free. It's a lot of money. Sometimes a lot of money. Sometimes it's not a lot of money, depending on what you're doing at that particular time. So you need your passport. You need your passport to travel around the world. If your transport has issues, my darling, your journey might just have ended before it even started. So you need your passport before you travel. Another thing you need is your tickets. You need your ticket. Your ticket is very, very valid, very, very important that you must have your ticket. Many tickets now, they are now electronic. We have e-tickets. You can have it on your phone. You can have it on your iPad. Just show them. But many times it's advisable that you print it out. You print your ticket out, and Most times, your ticket would have your departure time, your airline name, to have the name of the airport, to have your flight number, all of these essentials that you need to have. You need to know when you're traveling. Your tickets will most likely have all of those things. So yes, you need to have your ticket before you travel. Now, for those who don't know what a passport looks like, your passport is majorly green cover green cover with several pages inside. It has Nigeria coat of arm on the front page. You know, you can just check online, check Google to see what it looks like and your ticket as well. So that's what your ticket is, and you must have it. If you don't have a ticket, you cannot fly. You can't travel. You can have your passport. If you don't have your ticket, you cannot go anywhere. And if you have your ticket, you don't have your passport, you also cannot go anywhere. So these two are very, very important documents that you must have when you decide to travel. Now, the third thing I want you to know is ETA. What is ETA? When we are traveling abroad, you are traveling somewhere out of the country, even within the country, you have your ETA. What is your ETA? Your ETA is the estimated time of arrival. The estimated time of arrival. That is the time your flight is expected to land wherever it is you're going. So if you move from Lagos, you're going to Asaba, or you're going to Canada, or you're going to anywhere, it will have your ETA, the estimated time of arrival. If you leave by 1 p.m., okay, oh, last, everything, we must get there by 6 p.m. It will be stated there, it will be written there, just so you can have an idea of the time you would arrive at your destination. So your ETA, whenever you see ETA, it means estimated time of arrival. That's what ETA means. And we also have checking. We have check-in time. Check-in time. For international passports, you must be at the airport at least 3 hours before departure. So your check-in time is when, before you fly, before you get boarded into your airplane, you need to check in certain documents, your ticket, your passport, all of these things needs to be checked. You need to check them. You know, so you check in with your all of these documents, your luggage, what kg is it? Is it suitable to fly? Is it okay to fly? All of that. You need to get your check-in time. So for many international flights, that's if you're traveling outside Nigeria, many times you're expected to get to the airport at least 3 hours before your departure time. So it's not as if you say, "Oh, maybe the airport is beside my house now. It's beside my house. I can leave." Maybe your flight is 2 p.m. You're not back, and maybe the airport is beside my house. I can leave the house by 1:30. I'll get there. Oga, you don't go. You don't go. I think by that time, everyone is boarded already, and they're just waiting to take off. So if you're getting there by 1:30, you don't miss your flight. Otilon, yeah. So you must understand, you must bear it at the back of your mind that for some international flights, you should be at the airport to check in 3 hours. So bear in mind that you're not the only one they will check in, and it can take a lot of time. It might take time, so you need to be there as early as possible. For local flights, it's about 1 to 2 hours before your departure. Yeah, so you must bear that in mind. You must always bear that in mind. It's currently 19 minutes past 3 o'clock right here in the studio, the 19th day in the month of March, 2026. And I'm hoping that you've learned something from the conversation this evening. Have you learned something? Something new? Something different? Do you now know certain things about your flights? Are you aware of certain things now? We also have the boarding pass. We also have your boarding pass. This is your access to the plane. If you don't have your boarding pass, you cannot enter the plane. So your boarding pass is what you show them just before you go into the plane. You're granted access to enter into the plane, and it would have your seat number. You don't just board a plane and you say, I feel like sitting by the window, and you just go and sit down by the window, or you say, or gas on from rapid. That's why I feel like sitting. You cannot feel like sitting whatever number. It's not like buses that you get to the bus first and then you scan through the best seats. Nah, there's nothing like that when it comes to flying by air. When you have your boarding pass will tell you exactly where to sit. Each seats are numbered. If you've traveled by train before, you should be familiar with this the boarding pass thing with your seat number. So when you apply, you get your seat number. The pass would have your seat number, will have your boarding time, will have your gate number, and many other things like that. And without it, you cannot enter into the plane. You cannot enter into the plane at all. Yeah, so that's some of the things you should know when traveling by air. We have luggage allowance. It's not every bag that can travel. That your Ghana must go. That you pack several things inside. You can get to the airport and they will tell you it is too much. It is overweight. You can't carry it. And sometimes if your bag is overweight, they can ask you to pay extra. Sometimes you cannot even pay. You have to shed off some weight off your bag. So yes, it's important. And when you can come to the security check, your bag is usually scanned. They'll scan your bag, whether you have any substance, that's harmful, you have any metallic objects inside your bag. Your bag will be scanned. Basically, your bag will be checked before you travel, before you can enter into the plane. And when it comes to immigration, like I said before, that's where you get your passport, and that's where your passport is also stamped. There are different sections to immigration. So they stamp your passport there. They also give you your passport at the immigration. They will ask you certain questions. Why do you want to travel? You say it's not as if you want to go and not come back to Nigeria. Where are you going? Why are you going to where you're going? And all of those things they would ask you at the immigration before your passport is stamped. Those are some of the things you should know about traveling by air anywhere in the world. I know you want to travel, so don't worry. Your time will come. You definitely go somewhere. You definitely travel. We also have direct flights and connecting flights. We have some flights that are direct. Some flights are connecting flights. Your direct flight goes straight to where you are going. It's just like you're traveling from Abeokuta to Edo State. The flight is taking you direct. Or you're traveling from Lagos to there's no airport in Abeokuta. Oh. They're traveling from Lagos to what's this place called? Akure, for example. It's a straight flight. There's no stop by. There's nothing direct. Take me there. You're going straight to Akure. You're going straight to Port Harcourt. That's a direct flight. But connecting flights sometimes, uh especially during international flights, you would have more connecting flights. So maybe you're traveling to Canada, you need to stop by to get another plane before you move again and all of that. So that's connecting flights. That's what connecting flight is. Your cabin crew, CABIN. Your cabin crew are your air hostesses, your flight attendants. You see those fine women that used to wear short, beautiful dresses. Very very packaged women and men. They look so good. I love them. They're air hostesses and they're flight attendants. They are there to give you instructions. They're there to assist you, serve you your meals if you want to eat. They're there to just make life really easy and simple for you. They are called the cabin crew collectively. So, yes. And we also have something called turbulence. Turbulence is something that also you need to know when traveling by air. It happens once in a while. Sometimes it's just as if you're traveling by road. On the road too. Now we used to have turbulence when you're traveling by road. If there's pothole, if there's pothole on the road, your car would do some shaking and stuff. It happens on air as well. You cannot don't say there's no pothole in the sky. It does. We have turbulence in the sky as well. This is when your plane shakes because of the air movement. It will just shake chuku, chuku, for a moment, and at that time, people will know that they know God. That's when some people will pray in their life. Some people have not prayed since January till now. But when they're in the plane and they're experiencing turbulence, you see how they'll start praying to God to save them. But yeah, I mean, it's not a pretty sight. It's not a funny moment, because definitely you're going to be scared. You're definitely going to be scared because you just feel like nothing is holding this thing in the sky, or this thing fall out along, So that's turbulence. It happens sometimes. Sometimes it just happens for like a few minutes and it's over. It's just because of sometimes the weather. maybe it's a bit cloudy, the weather is gloomy, and all of that can cause turbulence. So don't panic. Don't be afraid when you experience turbulence while on air. It's normal. God is our protector, God is our guide, and God will continue to guide us all through the way. Those are some of the things I want to share with you on Radio School this afternoon. I hope you learned one or two things from the conversation. Like I said before, when you're traveling, don't go late. Don't be late. You cannot you cannot fly without your visa requirements. You must have your visas. You must have every your boarding pass. And also, when you're at the airports, don't ignore the boarding announcements. Those things that you used to hear flights. Some people used to say they don't used to hear what those announcers used to say, but you need to hear if they call your number and you don't go like that. So you must hear what they're actually saying. And don't forget your documents. Please have your documents with you when you're traveling to avoid stories that touch the heart. And go there early. Go there early as you can. Just comfortably. You don't need to just nice, just as comfortable as possible. Some people they'll say because they are traveling by air, they'll now wear heels and do makeup and do be as comfortable as you can be. If you want to, you can, but I mean, you're traveling, so be as comfortable as possible. And some flights are usually very long. You don't want anything to obstruct your peace of mind. Charge your phones. Some you can charge your phones in some airplanes, but charge your phones, label your luggage, listen to announcements, and just be good. Just be fine. Enjoy your flights. I hope you have a lovely flight ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the end of Radio School this evening. Today wasn't just about traveling by air, it was about confidence, knowing what to do, where to go, and how to move without confusion. Because the truth is, exposure changes everything. When you know what to do, when you know what to do, when you know where you're going, it's easier for you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week, Thursday, by 3:05 p.m. on Women Radio 91.7 for another class on Radio School. Till then, stay ready and get ready for your next flight. It's closer than you think. Don't worry. You'll travel very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. My name is Finfulua Akiremi. Bye for now.
Yeah, yeah. Fast like that in the business. Right, don't spell on it. Open your stomach. Access on the feet. I'm on the crash today. But you got this. I don't metal only do. But you got this. I'm on the metal today. But you got this. I don't metal only do. But you got this. Say then no the father job. About you. I want to lay out here. Also, I'm the Betty sign out. About you. And for you say she alana. Olófòfó amẹ́bọ̀ onígbàtí ẹ fálànà èfúnnú mi lámẹ́ ìbàdí tí ń ṣòtì kalẹ̀ ẹ má padà wo tí ń ṣe olúmi òtì kalẹ̀ when I speak ẹ máa dákẹ́ ẹ máa quit kẹlọ wáṣẹ́ ṣọlá tó máa débi sẹ́mà omi sinmi láwẹ́ from swag you go know we hold back white agbada ọmọ Yorùbá black bears when we come through when you find girls when I go to that they want to try the back gang we can't initiate this no say do you know it's having AMBCA ọmọdé mẹ́ta ṣeré but you practice I don't metal only eating but you practice ọmọdé mẹ́ta ṣeré but you